Chapter 81. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, Wei Hong's ruthless behavior completely stunned the whole audience. Wei Jiaoyang and his wife thought that they had invited the ant to calm him down, then they criticized and blamed him, making him realize his mistakes and turn over a new leaf, but who could have thought that Wei Hong would not even give the ant face? Rebellion, rebellion. It's really rebellion. Wei Xiaoying was so angry that her heart was heaving violently. She leaned on her crutches and ordered angrily, "Catch this little beast who rebelled against the heavens. Today, I, an old woman, must punish him according to the family law." At the command. The two bodyguards following her immediately raised their feet and walked towards Wei Hong. However, as soon as they moved, more than a dozen bodyguards in suits appeared around them, with a pair of eyes staring at them. The two were stopped directly. "Break his legs and throw him out." Wei Hong waved his hand lightly. The bodyguards around them immediately attacked like wolves and tigers. The two panicked and tried to block the blows, but two fists could not beat four hands. After a few moves, they were kicked in the knee and fell to the ground. The next moment, they were held down by the bodyguards and two batons were smashed down fiercely. "Ah!" The two screamed and fell to the ground, wailing and rolling. One of their legs had been broken abruptly. "Aren't you going to enforce the family rules on me? Come on, continue." Wei Hong waved his hand with a smile, and the bodyguards immediately dragged the two out and threw them out casually like throwing away garbage, easily solving this little trouble. Wei Xiaoying. Wei Jiaoyang. Everyone was frightened by this scene again. Who dared to provoke him at this time? No matter how dumb you are, you know that this guy is crazy. Wei Hong no longer cares about family affection and status. If you want to enforce the family rules, you must have a harder fist than him, but he has 4 groups of bodyguards around him. Anyone who wants to use force and violence is afraid of dying. Okay. Wei Xiaoying trembled with her hands and said coldly, "I originally wanted to mediate for your grandfather's sake, but it seems that the old woman is not worthy of disciplining you. Well, I can't control this matter, you can do whatever you want." Wei Chunlan's eyes were cold, with deep contempt in her eyes. "Did the old man teach you to bully others by taking advantage of your power? He only taught me to fight back when I was bullied, but he didn't teach me that I can't resist if someone steps on my face." Wei Hong retorted coldly, and the other party was speechless. Wei Qiuju, the younger sister-in-law, got angry. She stood up and accused, "Did he teach you to respect your elders? You dare to touch my aunt's people. You are really bold, right? I don't even recognize my own parents, so how can I recognize an aunt who came out of nowhere and took advantage of her age?" Wei Hong leaned forward and sneered oppressively, "Don't think that you dare to act wildly on my land just because your in-laws have a little power. It's not your turn to be presumptuous in this 3-acre land of Jiangzhou City. You?" Wei Qiuju's fingers were shaking with anger, relying on the glory of her in-laws over the years. When did she not receive courtesy when she returned to her parents' home? Wei Jiaoyang and Du Sihui were polite and flattering to her. The daughters of the Wei family were also well-behaved and obedient. When had she ever been so angry? "Do you know what it means to touch my aunt's people?" Wei Qiuju asked angrily. "It means she can only be furious and helpless, and she can't touch me at all." Wei Hong did not give in, and retorted tit for tat, "What? Do you really think I don't know what she is like? On the surface, she married to Yanjing for decades, and her husband's family is a first-class family in Yanjing, with influence in the political, business and military circles. Anyone should give her some face, right? In fact, there are 3 branches in the Zhou family in Yanjing. The first branch is in power, the second branch is in charge of money, and the third branch is just a scrap to make up the number. She, Wei Xiaoying, married to the third branch and endured it every day. She didn't live a better life until her husband died. Do you really think she is so capable? She is just relying on her age to pretend to be powerful. In fact, she has almost no say in the Zhou family. Her children and grandchildren are all useless. They are just relying on the family to eat the old people. If it weren't for the Zhou family's nostalgia, they would have driven them out of the house long ago." For a while. There was a hint of weirdness in everyone's eyes, and Wei Shuiying was so angry that her face flushed. What? Am I wrong? Wei Hong pouted and continued, in Yanjing, you are a coward every day, but when you return to Jiangzhou, you want to take advantage of your seniority and make decisions. What if I break your people's limbs? You only dare to get angry for a while, don't you? My grandfather used to spoil you because of the brother-sister relationship. Now that he is gone, who knows you? And you always let I kneel down, who do you think you are? That a burst of face-to-face output. Wei Shuiying was so angry that she almost had a heart attack. She was ashamed and annoyed. She had never thought that she would be humiliated like this at such an old age. An old face was almost torn off by someone. How dare you? Wei Choju raised her hand tremblingly and shouted sharply, how dare you talk to me like this, are you crazy? Wei Hong slapped her fingers away and sneered, you only care about scolding her and forgot to scold you, right? A husband cheated and brought his illegitimate son home to raise him. His son may not even be able to keep the inheritance. You dare to swallow your anger. Why do you come back to your mother's house to show off? You. Wei Choju was ashamed and angry. These were the secrets she tried her best to hide. In the past, her family only knew that she was married to the chairman of the Lin group in the provincial capital, and only saw her glorious side, so she was inferior in every way, and the whole family had to be careful to please her, but now Wei Hong has torn off her disguise. Wei Choju just wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. Little beast, don't go too far. Wei Chunlan saw this and quickly stood up to protect her. Wei Hong glared at her and cursed, too much. You three are elders who don't know the facts and come to point fingers. Isn't it too much? You usually swallow your anger in your husband's family, but you are arrogant and domineering when you return to your family. Isn't it too much that you don't know how to restrain yourself at your age? Wei Jiaoyang, this idiot, has always thought that your in-laws have a strong background, so he wants to invite you back to support him. If he knew that your family has been supported by your father-in-law all these years, and the second generation can't even get to the department level, would he be so angry that he wants to vomit blood? In a few years, your father-in-law will die, and then your Lu family will completely fade out of the power circle of Yanjing. What can you do to show off in front of me? I gave you face, right? Wei Chunlan's face suddenly became as colorful as a palette. Wei Jiaoyang and others were even more dumbfounded, watching Wei Hong sweeping across the four directions and easily spraying all the ants, elder ants and younger ants who had strong backgrounds in their eyes, but they didn't dare to talk back. Chapter 82. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As the atmosphere became tense, Wei Jiaoyang took a deep breath and said coldly, what are you arguing about? Today, I summoned the relatives and elders of the Wei family to come here to fulfill your long-cherished wish. Let's completely sever our relationship. There is no need to say any more nonsense. Okay. Wei Hong raised his hand to signal him to continue. Wei Jiaoyang nodded to a bodyguard. The man immediately took out a wooden box from the study on the third floor. It was made of agarwood and had a simple and elegant shape. Inside lay a gold thread-bound text with 6 large characters: Linhuai Wei family genealogy. The Wei family is not a large family that has been passed down for hundreds of years. It was only decades ago that after Mr. Wei accidentally became rich, he asked someone to spend a lot of money to rebuild the family tree in order to show off his elegance. In the past, this thing was just a decoration. But today, it is a witness. Wei Jiaoyang stood up and walked to the old man's portrait in a pretentious manner. After burning incense, he bowed and said, Dad, don't blame me. It's all because of your eldest grandson who is really ruthless and ungrateful. Our Wei family can't keep such a person. Today, I will report to our ancestors and expel him from the family tree. I hope your spirit in heaven will not blame me. After doing all this, he turned around and took out the family tree from the box. After simply flipping through a few pages, he found Wei Hong's name in it. You still have a chance to regret it now. Wei Jiaoyang threatened coldly, as long as you are willing to reform and hand over all the assets and funds on hand, I cannot expel you from the family tree. What are you kidding? Wei Hong was directly amused. He didn't think that he could threaten himself with this method, then he could easily get a son who cried and begged for mercy and was obedient from then on, and then take away all the assets in Wei Hong's hands. Wei Hong has 20 billion in his hands. This is not the lucky money we had when we were young, which parents can take away whenever they want. Thank you, Mr. Wei, I don't particularly want this opportunity. Wei Hong shrugged and urged, please start writing quickly, don't dilly-dally and annoy others. Humph. Wei Jiaoyang was still a little unwilling after all. He gritted his teeth and asked, do you know what expulsion from the Wei family means? Of course. Wei Hong shrugged and said nonchalantly, it means that from now on I will lose my status as the heir of the Wei group, and I will have nothing to do with the Wei family. From now on, I will not be able to get any family support from outside. Everything depends on my own hard work, right? Yes. Wei Jiaoyang breathed a sigh of relief and sneered contemptuously, it's good that you know it. Now you are willing to bow your head, admit your mistakes and accept the punishment. We, the elders, can give you a chance to stay. But do you know what it means for the Wei family to lose me? Wei Hong raised his eyes and asked seriously. Wei Jiaoyang was stunned and couldn't help laughing. What will happen if the Wei family loses you? It's just a male heir. It's no longer popular to favor boys over girls these days. Which of your sisters is not good enough? Which one can't support the family business? Sorry, none of them can support it. Wei Hong's fingers slowly swept over each person, commenting mercilessly, Wei Linlang, this waste, has not made any achievements in the 7 years since she joined the group. If I hadn't started to do project evaluation for her and secretly support her 3 years ago, would she deserve the title of investment genius? You, the chairman, are invincible in internal fighting, but you have no ability to expand externally. No, it is not easy to keep the family business. The Wei group is now in decline, and the decline has only happened in the past few years. The second child, Wei Kailan, seems to be the vice president of a first-class domestic entertainment company, but in fact, she is just a senior worker. The third child, Wei Chuyan, appears to be a professor at a prestigious university, but in fact, she is just a lousy teacher. She always puts on a stinky face and teaches people a lesson. Her greatest value to the family is marriage. The fourth, fifth, and sixth children are just screenwriters, singers, and actors, and are just toys of capital. How much do you expect them to achieve? That the faces of the people are as colorful as a palette. Wei Linlang and others are angry but unable to refute, although their professions are glamorous in the eyes of ordinary people. In fact, for large families, they are indeed a bit unpresentable, and their role in the family seems to be only marriage. Now, let me tell you what the loss of me means to the Wei family. Wei Hong pointed his finger at the coffee table and said indifferently, it means that the Wei group will lose a genius with great business talent who can create miracles. It means that the Wei family will lose a pillar that can steadily gain profits and allow you trash to be rich wives forever and live in luxury forever. The villa was suddenly silent. Wei Hong raised his eyebrows and stood up to the wine cabinet. After pouring himself another glass of wine, he said, do you know why I am not afraid of being expelled from the family tree? Because I have long been out of the family's protection. The Hua family I have made more than 20 billion yuan by shorting international funds during the stock market crash some time ago. I bought Tianrun Building and founded Hongshan Group. If I want, I can even acquire Wei Group with huge cash flow. And what about you? The group just lost a lot of money in the stock market crash, and many projects have collapsed. Do you think I will suffer if I leave this family? People will only praise my sharp eyes and laugh at you for not knowing the value of gold and jade. Everyone took a breath. Wei Jiaoyang was also stunned. More than 20 billion yuan. He actually made so much money in the stock market crash. Wei Xiuying's hand holding the cane trembled slightly, sneering and refusing to believe, you are just bragging. You are only 17 years old. Where did you get the capital to make so much money? That it's not just Wei Xiuying who doesn't believe it. In fact, everyone present was also full of doubt, how could a 17-year-old boy earn more than 20 billion? Looking at the entire Jiangzhou city, Jiangnan province, and even the major families in Yanjing, there is no such outstanding rich second generation, right? But only Wei Jiaoyang knew that Wei Hong was not bragging. This guy really bought the Tianrun building in full, and registered Hongxin Group in Hong Kong with a registered capital of 10 billion. A group of middle and senior managers who were previously neglected in the Wei Group will most likely be poached by him, although I don't want to admit it. But this son is so dazzling that it makes people feel ashamed. Auntie. Wei Jiaoyang sighed and said, he didn't lie. He just spent 1.8 billion to buy a building a few days ago. Hiss. Wei Xiuying took a breath. Wei Chunlan and others were also terrified, suddenly realized that today's three-court trial was very ridiculous. Such an outstanding descendant of the Wei family, and the only male in the family, would be the pillar of any family that is loved by thousands, but in the Wei family he has obviously suffered a lot of grievances. Jiaoyang, Sihui, how do you two do things? Wei Chunlan was shocked and accused, you don't love such an outstanding son, but love an adopted son. Now it's too much, isn't it? Brother, wait a minute. Wei Qiuju also exclaimed, our Wei family finally gave birth to a real dragon, how dare you expel him from the family casually? Chapter 83. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As the ancient said, the world is bustling with people for profit, and the world is bustling with people for profit. Although Wei Xiuying, Wei Chunlan, and Wei Qiuju were invited to put pressure on them, they had also suffered a lot of insults just now, and they were more or less angry with Wei Hong, but when they learned that he was a business genius and made more than 20 billion in a stock market crash, their mentality changed immediately. No hatred or resentment can compare to their own interests. The three of them actually had a hard time in their respective husbands' families. If the Wei family could rise up under the leadership of Wei Hong, their lives and their husbands' families would be much better. At worst, they would give their private money to him to invest. Wouldn't it be nice to make money while lying down? So they naturally didn't want Wei Hong to be crossed out from the family tree. Jiaoyang, this matter needs to be considered carefully, right? It's no joke to break off relations with such an outstanding son. Yes, think twice before doing anything. Being too impulsive will lead to big losses. Xiaohong, if you have any grievances, you can tell your aunt. Even if the King of Heaven comes today, we will support you. That the three people expressed their opinions at the same time. Wei Jiaoyang's face suddenly turned pale. He didn't know whether to write or not with a pen. His face was uglier than constipation. He invited the three people to come here with the intention of wanting them to support him and put pressure on Wei Hong, the unfilial son. As a result, now they are putting pressure on themselves. This is a bit out of place. Wei Jiaoyang had no doubt that as long as he nodded in agreement, the three of them had to press their heads to apologize to him. Aunt, don't worry about this matter. Today, this unfilial son must be removed from the family tree. Wei Jiaoyang was in a dilemma and snorted coldly. Shut up. Wei Xiuying stabbed with her cane, glared and scolded. It doesn't matter if we didn't know about what happened today, but now that we know, we must seek justice. Xiaohong, if you have been wronged over the years, you can tell me, I can help you. There is no need for a family to be so awkward. Stop it. Wei Hong raised his hand impatiently to stop. I just said so much nonsense not to save the relationship, but to tell everyone that leaving the Wei family will only benefit me and not harm me. It's not that you don't want me now, but that I don't want you. From now on, we will go our separate ways and no one will interfere with each other. And even if you don't cross your names out of the family tree, I will announce the termination of the relationship in the newspaper. There is no room for negotiation. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone's expression became ugly. I thought today was a trial against Wei Hong, but who would have thought that the incident would be reversed again and again? His attitude was as tough as ever, which was really embarrassing. Cut off the relationship, they will lose a business genius. If they don't cut off the relationship, it will be embarrassing for everyone. After a short confrontation, Wei Jiaoyang finally got angry and said, okay. You really think our Wei family can't live without you, right? Today I will expel you from the family tree and cut off the relationship with you in the newspaper. You'd better do what you say, don't let me look down on you. Wei Hong defeated him again. Wei Jiaoyang lost control again, slamming the table and roaring, whoever doesn't cut off is the grandson, but you are not allowed to take a penny of the things left by your grandfather's will. This is the wealth of my Wei family, and it is not the turn of an outsider to covet it. Wei Hong shook his head and bargained, I can sign an agreement to give up the inheritance of the group's shares, but this villa and the antiques in Grandpa's safe will all belong to me. Dream on, don't even think about getting a dime. Wei Jiaoyang was tough, and seemed to want to use this as a bargaining chip to control him. Wei Hong raised his hand to stop him from talking nonsense, and said calmly, the villa and antiques are worth only 700 to 800 million at most, which is a fraction of the value of 30% of the group's shares. I took it just to keep it as a thought. If you don't agree, I can't guarantee that I will do anything extreme. Wei Jiaoyang was shocked, and after a moment of hesitation, he nodded and said, okay, we will move the things away in the next 2 days. Great! Wei Hong curled his lips in satisfaction, he raised his hand and waved, and a bodyguard immediately brought a contract. He threw the contract on the coffee table and motioned Wei Jiaoyang and others to check it themselves. Everyone looked confused and hesitated to speak, but in the end they didn't know what to say. Only Wei Xiaoying couldn't help but threaten, young man, don't be too arrogant. Do you really think you can do whatever you want just because you have good business talent? Sometimes, connections are far more important than money. Yes. Wei Chunlan also sneered, do you really think that you can leave the family and start your own business just because you made some money by chance? Don't be so naive. Wei Qiuju joined in and said, Xiaohong, you are still young and don't understand the intricacies of society. It's complicated, so calm down. Otherwise, if you need help in the future, I won't help a discarded child who has been expelled from the family tree. The three of them still want to use their power to pressure others. Their husband's family is powerful, no matter how unappreciated they are, they still have a say. If Wei Hong really breaks off relations with the Wei family, it means losing 3 powerful connections. Anyone would regret it, but Wei Hong still disdains it. He threw the pen in front of Wei Jiaoyang and his wife and said, sign, don't let me say it a second time. He. Wei Xiaoying was completely angry. She poked her cane and said coldly, Jiaoyang, sign. I want to see how well he can get away from the Wei family. Don't come to us when you can't move in the country. Wei Jiaoyang smiled bitterly and signed silently. Du Sihui still felt a little reluctant. She looked over several times, wanting to say something but stopping herself, but only met Wei Hong's cold and resolute eyes. In the end, she also signed her name on the contract of severing the relationship. Ding ding. Alarm, alarm. The original book plot has collapsed. Please repair it as soon as possible, otherwise it may cause unknown risks. Alarm. Alarm. A mechanical sound suddenly sounded in the mind. Wei Hong and Wei Xing both froze in place. System, what's going on? Wei Xing asked anxiously in his heart, fuck, I didn't do anything. I just watched them sever the relationship. This matter has nothing to do with me, right? The mechanical voice replied, in the original book plot, the hero Wei Hong has a close relationship with his family. As the son of destiny in this book, after the relationship is severed, the hero's luck will no longer be shared with his family. The plot has a tendency to collapse, and the consequences are unknown. Fuck. Wei Xing cursed again, I can't stop it now. Look at his ugly face. A trace of shock flashed across Wei Hong's eyes, but he quickly covered it up. Wow, too much information was revealed in these few short sentences. He seems to be the male protagonist. Is this world really a novel? Did I accidentally ruin the plot? Chapter 84. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sign the contract, change the genealogy list. Wei Hong easily severed his relationship with the Wei family. Next, both parties only need to jointly issue an announcement to make the matter known. the relationship between Wei Hong and Wei Jiaoyang and others will be completely terminated in name, although there is no such thing as severing the relationship in the law, but it doesn't matter, everyone is a well-known person, as long as the Wei group announces this news. From now on, no Wei family member will have the face to use the shackles of family and affection to morally kidnap him. In short, Wei Hong will be completely free. After the document was signed, he took it in his hand and checked it carefully. Finally, he breathed a sigh of relief after confirming that it was correct. He showed a distant smile and said, "Mr. Wei, Mrs. Wei, and everyone please move out of my house as soon as possible." In addition, the Wei group should also issue a document of severing the relationship on the official website within 3 days. "Thank you for your cooperation." That everyone looked at each other. Most of them were a little uncomfortable. Are they really no longer related? From now on, we have to be polite and distant when we meet. I'm afraid we won't be able to find an excuse to quarrel, right? For a moment, the atmosphere in the whole place became very strange. Du Sihui's eyes were red, and she opened her mouth several times to say something, but when she met Wei Hong's cold eyes, she finally sighed and fell silent. Today, Wei Group will publish a document of severing relations on the homepage of the official website. Wei Jiaoyang said coldly, "From now on, we have no relationship, please don't regret it." "Of course, I will only be glad." Humph, that the father and son were speechless. Wei Jiaoyang snorted coldly and turned around to tell people to start packing. This half-mountain villa is the best wealthy area in the entire Jiangzhou city, with complete supporting facilities and thorough security. Therefore, he did not want to move away from here, so he simply called and ordered someone to buy another villa in this community in a hurry. Moving is also very convenient. The servants packed up, and there was a moving company to help. In less than half a day, the whole villa was emptied. All kinds of antiques, calligraphy and paintings, luxury goods, and jewelry were all moved away, causing quite a stir, and also attracted other wealthy people in the community to scramble to find out what happened. Wei Hong didn't care about this. After he broke off his relationship with the Wei family, he felt relieved. It was as if some shackles and burdens were lifted off his body. Recalling his previous life, wasn't it because of the bondage of family affection that he fell into traps again and again, was stabbed in the back by the closest people again and again, and was forced to transfer his things to Wei Xing again and again? Now that the relationship is severed, he will no longer have any hidden dangers. The Wei family will never be able to suck blood from him and stab him again. If this world is really a novel, didn't he, the male protagonist, break free from the shackles of the plot and gain a new life? Wei Hong suddenly rubbed his eyes. He found that he seemed to have hallucinations. He actually saw some illusory light from the people around him. These lights are like mist surrounding everyone. The servants and bodyguards are ordinary gray, and occasionally some of them are mixed with a hint of black. A large group of red mist lingers on Wei Sheng. The other Wei family members are also red. Only Wei Hong himself is condensed with amazing purple mist. What is this? That he was secretly shocked. I don't understand why I suddenly saw these. Could this be the golden finger I accidentally got after the plot collapsed? It's like being able to hear Wei Xing's true voice, which is a pleasant surprise. Wait, are they the legendary luck? Gray should be ordinary luck, black is bad luck. Red is good luck, and I am the son of destiny who is so red that it's purple. That a flash of inspiration flashed through Wei Hong's mind. It's easy to connect all this together. It turns out that he is really the male protagonist of the novel, which means that Wei Xing may be a book traveler or a villain. In his previous life, this guy framed Wei Hong again and again, then he absorbed the luck of the people around him, so as to step on him, the male protagonist. From the conversation between Wei Xing and the system just now, I know that I have severed my relationship with the Wei family and will no longer share my luck with them. That is to say, without me, the Wei family will completely lose its aura and become an ordinary wealthy family with little potential for future development. Whether Wei Xing wants to earn luck by slandering and suppressing me, or wants to absorb the luck of the Wei family, it will become difficult. It seems to be an unexpected surprise. That Wei Hong stroked the ring on his left hand and thought in his heart, no matter what the reason is, he can also see everyone's luck. He was too lazy to get to the bottom of it. Anyway, this matter is good for him. That's it. In the future, as long as I see Wei Xing's strong luck. Immediately let Professor K assassinate and suppress him, he will never be able to jump up in this life. This golden finger may seem useless, but it may still be useful at a critical moment. In the afternoon. Su Maogong and his men hurried over, seeing the almost empty villa. He looked at Wei Hong sitting on the sofa and said in surprise, "Master, is it really broken?" "Yeah." Wei Hong nodded and said, "It's broken, and an announcement will be issued immediately. Everything will go well." Su Maogong secretly smacked his lips when he heard this. This young master is really decisive. Once he decides on something, he will never drag his feet. He broke off relations with the Wei family so easily. He gave up 30% of the shares of Wei's group, which is worth 2 or 3 billion yuan, just like that. It's really admirable to think about it. Money is something you can't bring with you when you are born and can't take with you when you die. It's just a number to me. Wei Hong saw through his thoughts and comforted him while pouring him tea. You can easily make hundreds of billions in the future. Getting rid of a family of blood-sucking bugs is more worthy of happiness than anything else. That's right. Su Maogong smiled with his lips curled, but there was an inextricable fatigue in his eyes. Some time ago, he was busy with the group's formalities in Hong Kong. After returning, he has been busy decorating the group's headquarters. He has been busy every day. Uncle Gong, you've worked hard. Wei Hong sighed and said, "If it weren't for your help, many things wouldn't have gone so smoothly. Master, just tell me if you have anything to do. I'm not tired." Su Maogong laughed and habitually reported his recent work. Now Tianrun Building has been renamed Hongqing Commercial Building. The first and second floors are supermarkets and stores, and the third underground floor is a parking lot. The 3rd to 25th floors are all rented out to other companies as office space, and they can earn tens of millions of rent every year. The floors above the 25th floor are exclusively for Hongqing Group. Although the group is now an empty shell and has less than 100 employees, the decoration has been done in advance. Wei Hong smiled with satisfaction. He is still very confident in Su Maogong's work. You can move here and recruit a new batch of servants for the villa. Be careful not to let other people's eyes and ears get in. Wei Hong took a deep breath and said seriously, "At the same time, let the former senior executives of Wei Group who were contacted before leave as soon as possible. Hongqing Group will be listed and opened in a few days. Our era is here." Understood. The light in Su Maogong's eyes gradually brightened. Chapter 85. You are listening at novelfull.audio. January 7. On the top floor of Hongqing Commercial Building. Hongqing Group officially opened for business. A group of former Wei Group executives came out to support the event. More than a dozen local and provincial media reporters attended the event. Various flash lights kept flashing at the same time. The TV station broadcast live and some internet celebrities were invited to broadcast live. It also attracted a lot of people to watch on TV and the internet, in the public eye. Wei Hong wore a white shirt and a high-end black suit. His facial features were handsome and elegant. He was as elegant as a nobleman cultivated by aristocratic families for many years. He attracted everyone's attention as soon as he appeared, after the normal ribbon-cutting announcement of the opening. Wei Hong stood in place and accepted a burst of flash lights. He then began to accept interviews from reporters. "Dear journalists, welcome to the opening ceremony of Hongqing Group." He spoke calmly and unhurriedly. "I am Wei Hong, the founder and chairman of this group. I am very happy to meet you. Mr. Wei, the official website of Wei Group just released an announcement a few days ago, claiming that Chairman Wei has severed the father-son relationship with you. Is it true? Someone broke the news online that Chairman Wei kicked you out of the house because you bullied his adopted son, right? As far as we know, Hongqing Group has just spent 1.8 billion to buy this landmark commercial building, and it is also registered in Hong Kong with a scale of 10 billion. Where did you get the funds? One reporter after another rushed to ask questions. Most of them just wanted to dig out explosive news, and a few came with impure intentions, so everyone asked very sharp questions, which can be said to be merciless. Wei Hong was not too surprised about this. Today, Su Maogong originally wanted to invite a bunch of local political officials and chairmen of major companies in Jiangzhou to come to the platform. After all, only in this way can it be less likely to be harassed by others, and it is easier to make a name for himself, but Wei Hong finally chose to refuse. He didn't want to owe anyone a favor, nor was he afraid of any harassment. First of all, I would like to correct the reporter's question here. Wei Hong raised his hand and said frankly, "The Wei Group has indeed issued a statement that I have severed my parent-child relationship with Chairman Wei Jiaoyang, but it is not just severing with him, but severing with the entire Wei family. I have now signed a contract to sever kinship with the Wei family, and I also asked to be removed from the Wei family tree, so from now on, Wei Hong will no longer have any relationship with the Wei Group." As soon as these words came out, the whole audience was in an uproar. Various flashlights flashed desperately. Every reporter was desperately squeezing forward, for fear of missing such explosive news. After all, this is the most popular secret of the rich and powerful among netizens. In addition, the reporter's statement that Mr. Wei kicked me out of the house because I bullied his adopted son is pure rumor. Wei Hong continued to talk, "If someone spreads rumors wantonly, our group will investigate them to the end." The male reporter was immediately unhappy when he heard it, and immediately said, "But if there are no various reasons, why would Mr. Wei abandon his own son and spoil his adopted son?" "Yes, Mr. Wei, can you tell me the reason?" "As far as I know, Mr. Wei's adopted son Wei Sheng has just resigned as the vice president of Wei Group. Does this have anything to do with you?" The reporters pressed on step by step. Wei Hong shrugged calmly and said, "Who Mr. Wei likes or dislikes is his private matter. Besides, I was not driven out by the Wei family, but I took the initiative to leave the Wei family. I can't say more about the details." Next question. "Mr. Wei." A female reporter raised her hand and asked, "How much money did you take when you left the Wei family? Was the capital for buying the building and establishing the group supported by the Wei family?" "No." Wei Hong shook his head and said, "I was trained as an heir by my grandfather since I was a child. According to the will, I can inherit 30% of the shares of the Wei Group when I turn 18 years old. However, this time when I left the Wei family, I only took a villa and some antiques as a souvenir. I didn't take any other money. The startup capital was also earned by my usual investment." "Mr. Wei, you are only 17 years old. How did you earn 10 billion by legal means? You are not yet an adult. Why are the shareholders of the group willing to believe you? What industry will your group enter in the future?" The reporters asked a series of questions again. Wei Hong listened attentively for a while, and said seriously, "First of all, my investment channels are not convenient to be disclosed for the time being. Secondly, there are only 2 shareholders in our Hongsheng group, one of whom is Mr. Su Maogong, the legal representative and vice president beside me. He owns 5% of the group's shares, and I own 95%. So we don't have the problem of whether the shareholders trust me. Finally, our group is registered in Hong Kong. The main reason is to build a huge group with future industries involving finance, internet, investment, industry, real estate, beauty, medicine and other industries, and expand its territory to all parts of the world." Wei Hong talked a lot. This interview was broadcast live on TV and online platforms. Many viewers were shocked. Fuck, a 17-year-old chairman of a billion-dollar group. Do you have to be so exaggerated? Even if he is a rich second generation, he is too awesome, right? Fuck. He became the chairman at the age of 17, and I was still in Makabaka at the age of 17. Wow, there are so many rich people in this world, what's wrong with one more of me? God, I'm jealous. Oh my God, he is so handsome, even more handsome than our idol, love. Netizens were talking about it. There were those who envied him, those who were jealous, and those who licked the screen. Wei Hong became popular on the internet inexplicably, and once he was on the hot search because of his high appearance, it is inevitable that there will be a lot of gossip when you are famous. Some people began to dig deep into his past out of jealousy, some people also began to criticize him in the comment area of various posts. At the age of 17, you can start a business with 10 billion yuan. Even the princes in the Beijing circle are not as awesome as you. What is the origin of this person? There is probably something wrong with his money. This is not a new way of money laundering. It is recommended that the relevant departments conduct a strict investigation. I know this guy. He almost has everything under his control in Jiangzhou City. He usually bullies his classmates and the weak. I didn't expect that he would become a young entrepreneur now. It's really ironic. What kind of good business can a guy who doesn't even recognize his own relatives run? It is recommended that everyone boycott spontaneously and let him taste the taste of bankruptcy. A miner is so arrogant that he wants to start a business. I bet Hongxin Group will go bankrupt within a year. The netizens made sour remarks. It made Wei Hong's popularity unprecedentedly high, almost comparable to that of a first-tier internet celebrity. Amid the doubts and abuses of countless people, Hongxin Group finally opened in full swing. Chapter 86. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day that I in the meeting room on the top floor of Hongxin Group. Wei Hong sat on the main seat, and below him were dozens of former executives of Wei Group, and they are also the only employees in the group at present. Today, each department has built a framework, and the Human Resources Department is quickly recruiting people. In less than a month, Hongxin Group will be fully operational. Wei Hong did not speak immediately. He just silently scanned everyone present and observed their luck. Most of these people have grayish-white luck, occasionally light red, and 2 of them have a trace of black luck, which shows that they are probably unlucky recently. It is rumored that many large companies will look for experts to look at feng shui and luck. Although the golden finger that Wei Hong accidentally awakened is useless, if a group of lucky people are selected to work in important positions, maybe it will also be of positive help to the entire group. Everyone, welcome to join Hongxin Group. Wei Hong smiled, nodded politely and said, we are all old acquaintances, so there is no need to say more polite words. First of all, I am very grateful for your trust. Secondly, as a veteran in the early days of the group, I will never let you suffer. Everyone's salary will be doubled from now on. In addition, the new group is a new starting point, and you will have great room for promotion in the future. I hope everyone will work together to make Hongxin bigger and stronger. Thank you, Chairman. Everyone smiled happily. Salary and room for advancement are always the most concern of a worker. As long as these 2 points are guaranteed, what else can everyone be dissatisfied with? Next, announce the list of heads of each department. Wei Hong raised his hand and pressed it, waving his hand to signal the secretary to distribute the list one by one. This list was jointly drawn up by him and Su Maogong. Wei Hong directly served as the chairman and executive president, with 3 vice presidents under him. Su Maogong was one of them, and the other 2 vice presidents were temporarily vacant. Next are the administrative department, investment department, personnel department, development department, security department and other departments. All the people present were former middle and senior executives of Wei Group, and everyone's position has been fixed. Wei Hong hardly needs to worry about it. Just assign them to various departments according to their previous positions. Those who used to work in personnel go directly to the personnel department. Those who used to work in administration go directly to the administrative department. Their positions have been promoted more or less, and the new group has a lot of work to do. As newly joined veterans, everyone will be more comfortable than when they were in Wei Group, and they don't have to intrigue with others at all. Why, are you all satisfied? Wei Hong knocked on the table and said, if you have no objection, the personnel department will start recruiting people as soon as possible, and you can also poach familiar colleagues. I will give the general manager and minister of each department the maximum authority, and I can give twice the salary of the peers. As soon as these words came out, everyone smiled again. Chairman, since you said that, we won't be polite. We did know quite a few capable people in the past, so we just poached them all. Yes, our group offers such a high salary, and I don't know how many people want to get in. In my opinion, it's better to have a shortage than to have unqualified people. The HR department must be strict in recruiting people. At worst, we can find a headhunting company to poach some good seedlings. Everyone was talking about their opinions. At this time, a man in his 30s, wearing glasses and a suit, asked, "Mr. Wei, I have a few questions. I don't know if I should ask them." That this is Li Jiang, the former chief special assistant of the secretariat of Wei's group. This person was born as an orphan. After being sponsored by Mr. Wei, he joined Wei's group. He is hardworking, loyal, and versatile. He can be said to be the most capable among these people. This time, he was appointed as the general manager of the group's secretariat. In the future, he will assist the chairman and the executive president in controlling the overall situation. "What's the problem, Minister Li?" Wei Hong asked. "I want to know the key development direction of our group at this stage." Li Jiang took out a paper notebook and a fountain pen, pushed his glasses, and said in a businesslike manner, "In addition, everyone wants to know the future development plan of our group, such as whether there are plans to go public, and how to calculate equity incentives." As soon as these words came out, the eyes of the whole audience suddenly lit up. All three questions were asked to the point, as expected of Assistant Li. He immediately said what everyone was thinking. Wei Hong nodded and answered with ease. "First of all, Hongxin Group has no plans to go public in the future." I know this statement may disappoint everyone. After all, many people are counting on the group to go public and make a lot of money with the original shares. But in fact, our Hongxin Group is not short of money. Now there are nearly 20 billion funds on the books. In the future, the funds will only become more and more abundant, and there is no need to rely on shareholders' funds at all, necessary for development. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. Why would everyone fight for their lives if they don't go public? Is it just to get a fixed salary? Wei Hong raised his hand to suppress the restlessness in the conference room, and continued, "Going public can indeed allow a group to raise a large amount of funds to take off quickly, and it can also allow the veterans of startup companies to obtain huge benefits, but at the same time it also faces the risk of the stock market being manipulated by others. I don't allow Hongxin Group to go public, but it doesn't mean that you can't get huge benefits. In the future, I will extract 20% of the group's annual profits and share it with various departments of the group. As long as you do your job well, everyone from top to bottom can get a large bonus every year. We will discuss the specific reward mechanism later, but compared to going public and cashing out to make a quick buck, it is obviously more cost-effective to share the dividends of the group's development in a steady stream, isn't it?" Everyone frowned and thought about it. It concerns their interests, and no one wants to suffer losses. Wei Hong was not in a hurry about this. He knew that only when Hongxin Group made achievements and had considerable profits every year, everyone would truly support him and unite under the group and refuse to leave. He didn't want Hongxin Group to have a bunch of shareholders pointing fingers at him in the future. He also didn't want some chaebols to find an opportunity to snipe him in the stock market. Therefore, all crises must be strangled in the cradle. Hongxin Group will not be listed, and he can only have the final say in the future. Li Jiang did not change his expression. He carefully recorded a few notes in his notebook and did not express any opinions. "I have also made a decision about the early development direction of the group." Wei Hong coughed lightly and continued, "At present, our group is just being established, and each department is seriously understaffed, which is not suitable for carrying out some large projects. In the early stage, we will vigorously develop media entertainment, internet, and financial venture capital as pillar industries. In the medium term, we will gradually expand to real estate investment, physical industry investment, and pharmaceutical and beauty industry investment, and gradually extend the group's tentacles to all walks of life. Finally, I hope to gain a firm foothold in China, and then reach out to all parts of the world to create a huge business empire that belongs to us." A burst of crazy pie in the sky. Everyone was immediately completely overwhelmed by the wonderful blueprint he drew. Everyone's eyes burst into unprecedented light. Chapter 87. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This was the first high-level meeting of Hongxin Group. It lasted for more than 2 hours before it officially ended. Wei Hong answered all the questions of the senior executives at the meeting, built the basic framework of the group, elaborated on the future development plan, and arranged a large number of detailed tasks. In this way, the big ship of Hongxin Group finally set the tone for development. It also laid the foundation for the future soaring, in the chairman's office. Wei Hong sat in a luxurious boss chair. In front of him was a large solid wood table. The bookshelf was filled with various world classics, sofas, coffee tables, smoking areas, etc., and a large city view could be seen through the floor-to-ceiling windows, which was quite a heroic spirit of climbing high and looking at the mountains. Li Jiang knocked on the door and walked in with a female secretary holding a folder. "Chairman, this is a document that needs to be signed recently. Please take a look first." Li Jiang said in a businesslike manner, "There are many procedures to go through when the group is first established. These documents must be signed by you in person." "Well. Sit down." Wei Hong stood up and walked to the sofa and sat down. He took the document and checked it for no problem before signing. Li Jiang saw what he was thinking, waved his hand to let the female secretary leave, and then sat on the sofa and started to make tea. "What do you think of the development Tone said in the meeting just now?" Wei Hong asked without raising his head. "Very professional." Li Jiang commented while making tea, "In the current situation of insufficient manpower, it is indeed not suitable to launch other large-scale projects. It is very clever to focus on media entertainment, internet, and financial investment. We can completely use the least funds and the least manpower to achieve the greatest benefits, make achievements, and gain a foothold as soon as possible, and let many potential partners who are on the sidelines make up their minds to choose us." Wei Hong nodded with satisfaction. Li Jiang is a very smart and professional person. He saw the problem at a glance, worthy of being the former general assistant of Wei Group. "I am usually very busy, and can only control the development direction and major projects of the group." Wei Hong took a sip of tea, and then said, "Uncle Gong is old and has little energy. The group has not yet appointed other vice presidents. All the heavy responsibilities have to be shouldered by you. Chairman, rest assured, I will do my best." Li Jiang answered seriously. Wei Hong stared at him for a while, but smiled without comment. He knew that Li Jiang did not really join him, and was willing to join Hongxin Group only because he was excluded in Wei Group and missed the kindness of Mr. Wei in the past. Li Jiang will definitely complete the next work with his heart. But Wei Hong was not satisfied with this. He needed a general manager who was full of love and belonging to the group and could solve all his worries for him. "I have investigated you," Wei Hong said frankly. "You were born as an orphan and worked hard to get into a key university. You have worked diligently in the Wei Group for more than 10 years. You seem to be just a general assistant, but in fact you are a stabilizing force. The integration and transfer of various departments need to be completed through you. But in recent years, most of your income has been used to support orphans and children in mountainous areas. You don't fall in love or buy luxury goods. You have extremely low material desires. People like you are really rare in the world." Li Jiang had a blank expression and did not react at all. In fact, any middle and senior management must go through a detailed background check. It is not surprising that the other party knows everything about him. "How about this?" Wei Hong continued, "I can promise you that no matter how large the Hongxin Group becomes in the future, 10% of the profits will be allocated to charity every year, and this charity foundation will be controlled by you personally." Li Jiang was stunned and showed a hint of surprise. 10% of the annual profit? He asked in surprise, "Are you kidding, Chairman?" With the current size and scale of Hongxin Group, as long as there is no decision-making error, the annual net profit is at least 20 to 30 billion. Are you sure you want to donate 1/10 of it to charity? Yes. Wei Hong nodded and guaranteed, and our group can't only make 20 to 30 billion a year. It is possible to make tens of billions or even hundreds of billions in the future. Hiss. Li Jiang rarely showed a look of shock. On the one hand, he lamented Wei Hong's ambition, and on the other hand, he also lamented his generosity. Although major corporate groups will do charity for a long time to gild themselves, but in fact, most companies are just doing fake charity, occasionally donating hundreds of thousands to the mountainous areas. They can't wait to spend millions to market their reputation. Like Wei Hong, who dares to speak so shamelessly and directly promises to spend 10% of the profits on charity every year, I'm afraid there are very few. What is the chairman telling me, meaning? Li Jiang was a little puzzled. Nothing. Wei Hong chuckled and picked up another cup of tea, saying, "You can think of it as a way of winning over, or as a statement. We are the same kind of people. Sometimes it is not bad to use money to help the weak, right?" Understood. Li Jiang is a smart man. He nodded and said, "From now on, I will do my best to handle all the big and small things of the group, and try to make the group go faster and more stable." Yes. Wei Hong nodded with satisfaction. Li Jiang has a kind heart, and he also has the idea of doing charity. By using this to bind and bring the relationship closer, the other party will naturally work hard for the common goal. In the previous life, after Wei Xing completely drained the Wei family's luck and took control of the Wei group, he also wanted to win over Li Jiang for his own use. Unfortunately, no matter how high the price he offered, this guy still left without hesitation in the end. Now Wei Hong only used a little trick to make him loyal. Comparing one or two like this, the two sides can be said to be superior and inferior. Go and get busy. Wei Hong raised his hand and handed him the document, and ordered, "Let the Human Resources Department quickly recruit a group of agents and executives from entertainment companies to establish our group's first subsidiary Hongxing Entertainment Media. In addition, the investment department can also appropriately accept some external investment projects." "You mean, use the Hongxing Entertainment Media subsidiary as a spearhead to carve out a bloody path?" Li Jiang concluded and asked, "Use ordinary venture capital projects as blood supply packages to maintain the normal operation of the group?" "Almost." Wei Hong chuckled and spread his hands, saying, "In fact, whether the venture capital project makes money or not is secondary. It's just to find something for the newly recruited people to do and integrate human resources." Understood. "I'll do it now." Li Jiang stood up, bowed, and turned to leave the office. Wei Hong walked to the French window with a teacup in his hand, and a slight arc slowly rose at the corner of his mouth. Why choose to start the entertainment company as the first shot to make the group famous? Because he has memories of his past life. He can copy all kinds of songs, movies, TV series, and variety shows that will make a lot of money in the future. He can also sign all kinds of big stars who have not yet emerged in advance. It's just making money. Is it difficult? Now everyone believes that it is difficult for him, a young boy, to support the group. When he turns Hongxing Group into a super money printing machine, I guess these people's faces will be very ugly, right? Chapter 88. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before the new year, the old man of the Xie family celebrates his birthday. An invitation was delivered to Wei Hong. Now the whole Jiangzhou city knows that he has set up his own business. Therefore, for various business banquets, major groups will sensibly distribute 2 invitations. As the first cocktail party after the opening of Hongxing Group, Wei Hong did not choose to refuse, but attended directly in full dress. At night, the Xie family manor was brightly lit and full of luxury cars. The guests held champagne and red wine and chatted with each other, just like a large-scale business cocktail party. When Wei Hong walked into the hall with Li Jiang, all kinds of eyes looked over inquiringly. "You go and get busy." That he took a glass of champagne from the waiter's tray, casually told Li Jiang, and turned to walk towards the powerful and wealthy businessmen. "Tonight I came here mainly for socializing." Wei Hong's target is the big guys, and Li Jiang is responsible for getting closer to the executives of various companies. The division of labor and cooperation between the two complement each other. "Boss Li, Boss Lu, I haven't seen you for a long time, but you are getting more and more energetic." Wei Hong smiled and greeted several wealthy people in front. In the past, he had to call these people uncles and aunts when he saw them. But now he deliberately called them boss and boss. A slight change in the name naturally represents a change in identity. Everyone is also very smart, and they all smiled whether they were sincere or not. "Boss Wei is young and promising, but we are old. Your Hongxing Group has been very active recently, and you have poached 2 of my senior technicians, which has caused great harm to our group." "That's right, our group has also had several executives jump over." "Boss Wei, you are not kind." Everyone laughed and joked. At this moment, Wei Hong is no longer the heir of the Wei Group. He is no longer a 17-year-old high school student who has grown up under everyone's watch. Instead, he is a chairman who can talk to anyone on an equal footing, and is even worthy of their flattery. After a while, the surroundings were full of people. Some of them were actively trying to curry favor with him, while others wanted to watch the fun and find faults. Wei Hong responded calmly and easily, and no one could find fault with him. On the contrary, his good conversation and knowledge impressed many people. Good boy, he is worthy of being the heir personally trained by Mr. Wei. He is generous and magnanimous in dealing with people, and his words are flawless. Awesome, this kind of young man is more shrewd and difficult than an old fox. There is almost no one in the circle of rich second generations in Jiangzhou City who can compare with him, right? The Wei family is really stupid. They are willing to drive such a son out of the house. If it were me, even if he stepped on the heads of the whole family and peed, I would praise him for being so good. That's right, only a fool would want an adopted son instead of a biological son, and a biological son who is so capable. Several wealthy people were talking and laughing in a low voice behind the crowd. As soon as the Wei family entered the banquet hall, Wei Jiaoyang and his wife heard these words unexpectedly. They saw Wei Hong, who stood out from the crowd, again, and their hearts couldn't help but ache. During this period, Hongxin Group has developed vigorously and is thriving. The more popular Wei Hong is, the more the Wei family is incompetent and stupid. Wherever he goes, people will laugh at him openly or secretly. Wei Jiaoyang and his wife hardly dare to attend various banquets. Uncle and aunt, you are here, please come in. Xie Cici and Xie Zhijiang are greeting guests as hosts. Seeing the Wei family coming, she hurriedly took the initiative to greet them. This gesture shows the Xie family's attitude of closeness and distance. Wei Jiaoyang finally smiled. He politely exchanged a few words with Xie Zhijiang and began to chat with people around. The father and son were obviously in the same occasion, but they tacitly avoided each other. Is this the furthest distance in the world? Wei Hong ignored the complicated looks they cast from time to time. He just looked at Wei Sheng, who looked unhappy, and didn't miss the dark circles under his eyes. Obviously, he didn't give the Wei family blood transfusions and absorb luck during this period. It was difficult for Wei Sheng himself to get too many benefits from the Wei family, and his life was not easy. Mr. Wei. At this time, a slightly restrained young man squeezed out of the crowd and smiled flatteringly. I am Wu Feng, the founder of Kuyuan Electronic Technology. I heard that your Hongxin Group is selecting various venture capital projects recently, right? I wonder if I can delay you for 2 minutes. Oh. Wei Hong glanced up and down at him. Ordinary temperament, not very fitting suit. The restrained and flattering smile, at first glance, is a young entrepreneur who just graduated from college. These people often use various methods to mix into the upper circle cocktail parties, and do not miss any opportunity to sell themselves to the investment bosses. Own products, trying to get venture capital opportunities and then soar to the sky. At every banquet, such people can be seen everywhere. If the rich are interested, they are willing to chat for a few more words. Wei Hong didn't care about wasting time, so he nodded politely and said, okay, where is your company information? Here. Wu Feng didn't expect the other party to really pay attention to him, so he excitedly handed over a document and introduced with a trembling voice, our company is a small startup company, including me, a total of 5 people, mainly want to develop an air purification device. With the development of the times, people pay more and more attention to the quality of life, and urbanization development has also made the air worse and worse. Our air purification device has great potential. Wei Hong flipped through the product introduction and project book. Suddenly raised his hand to stop him from talking, and asked a few simple questions. Finally, he nodded and asked, how much money do you want to invest? 5 million, oh no, 3 million will do. Wu Feng's voice was trembling with ecstasy. As long as we have 3 million, we can definitely make the finished product, and your company will definitely not lose money at that time. 3 million is not enough, 10 million for research and development upgrades, 10 million for distribution, 10 million for promotion, at least 30 million. Wei Hong took out a delicate fountain pen from the inside of his suit, and wrote the 3 words 30 million on the project book, and then handed it to Wu Feng and said, "Go to Hongshan Group to find Li Jiang from the secretary department tomorrow, he will arrange it." "Thank you, Mr. Wei, thank you, Mr. Wei." That Wu Feng immediately bowed excitedly. Others couldn't help but secretly smack their lips when they saw this. Oh my God, young people are young people. They just threw away 30 million without blinking an eye. Are they stupid and have too much money? Agree to invest so easily. Aren't you afraid that he is a liar? It seems that this guy is just a show-off. His 10 billion fortune will be squandered in a few days. That everyone commented secretly. They were sure that Wei Hong's fortune would be emptied sooner or later, and more young entrepreneurs seemed to have seen a sucker, and all swarmed around him. Chapter 89. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mr. Wei, our company's project is very good and has a good prospect. Please take a look. Mr. Wei, please take a look at our company's project. A bunch of entrepreneurial young people surrounded him, various project books were handed over. Wei Hong accepted all the projects and took a look at them one by one. He marked the amount of all the projects he liked and asked someone to find Li Jiang to discuss the follow-up cooperation the next day. As for those he didn't like, he declined them all. It was like playing house to spend tens of millions of dollars, for a while. This Xia family banquet almost became his home court. Outsiders just thought that he might be mentally ill, but no one knew that most of the projects that Wei Hong liked actually had great potential. Because he had memories of his previous life, he knew clearly which industry had potential, which industry had a future, and which company would make money in the future, and Wei Hong now had a golden finger to see the luck, with a glance. Anyone with red luck, in the future, he will definitely be a successful entrepreneur and rich. Such people will only make a lot of money if they invest in advance. Anyone who is covered by gray-black luck will be unlucky. 80% of entrepreneurs will fail and lose money, so such people should never be invested in, with this kind of golden finger. It is not difficult for Wei Hong to find treasures from the garbage dump. People only think that he is stupid and rich, but they don't know that he has quietly won several profitable projects without knowing it. System, this idiot will not lose his pants, right? No, the male protagonist has great luck, and he will not lose money even if he chooses projects with his eyes closed. Damn, this bastard. Sooner or later, I will step on him and take away all his luck. The conversation between Wei Sheng and the system came into his ears at the right time. Wei Hong couldn't help but curl up a little corner of his mouth. He naturally knew that he was very lucky. Even if he signed all the projects, he would not lose money. Some entrepreneurs who were obviously unlucky and destined to fail would succeed in their business under his influence, but this would definitely consume his luck. How could Wei Hong want all the projects? After spending some time to send all the young entrepreneurs away, he picked up the wine glass again and chatted with the powerful and wealthy businessmen, and everyone couldn't help but tease and joke. Mr. Wei's investment is so easy and comfortable. It turns out that he is rich and powerful, and he is not as tight as us. That's right. I don't know if Mr. Wei is interested in investing in our company. Old Wu, I am short of funds recently. If you have sufficient funds, it would be nice to support us a little. Wei Hong smiled with his lips curled. He didn't care about the contempt in everyone's eyes, he didn't care that someone took him as a sucker, he just greeted and laughed with everyone calmly. At the same time, his eyes unconsciously looked to a corner. An old man and a young man sat on a secluded sofa on the left side of the banquet hall. The old man was dressed in a tang suit with white hair and a youthful face. He looked very majestic and heavy, and he looked like he was in his 70s or 80s. The young man was a beautiful girl dressed in high-end clothes. Behind the two of them followed several strong bodyguards who were obviously from the army. At this moment, Huo Yinghao was chatting and laughing with them. It was obviously his friends, so no one dared to bother them, but only Wei Hong knew that these two people were not ordinary. The old man was named Tang Shanhai, and the girl was his granddaughter Tang Ruolin. The two came from the Tang family, one of the 3 top wealthy families in Jiangnan province. It is rumored that the Tang family has been a wealthy family since the Qin dynasty. After 200 or 300 years of dormant development, they are now a powerful existence in the provincial capital. They have connections in both the political and business circles. Except for the 2 newly promoted wealthy families, no one can compete with them. this time Tang Shanhai came to Jiangzhou city mainly to travel and relax. Huanghao, as a local tyrant, naturally had to accompany him throughout the whole process. In the previous life, they also appeared at the birthday party of the old man of the Xie family. At that time, Tang Shanhai suddenly had a seizure and foamed at the mouth, which frightened everyone in the audience. Wei Hong, relying on his knowledge of medicine, decisively stepped forward to rescue him, and gave him acupuncture and massage, and snatched him back from the hands of death. In this way, Wei Hong should have become the benefactor of the Tang family, but Wei Xing relied on his inner voice to slander him, and easily portrayed him as a person who deliberately delayed rescue and even wanted to repay the favor to the Tang family, which made him completely annoyed by the Tang family's grandparents and grandchildren. Later, when Wei Hong went to Yanjing to attend university, he was repeatedly targeted and suppressed by Tang Ruolin. Now he has come to this plot node again after living a new life. He wanted to see what would happen to Tang Shanhai and Tang Ruolin, the grandparents and grandchildren, without his help, as expected. The party is just halfway through. Talking Tang Shanhai, who was chatting casually, suddenly covered his chest. He felt dizzy and faint, and fell to the ground with a face full of pain, which frightened Huanghao and Tang Ruolin, and they couldn't help but exclaimed, "Grandpa, how are you? How could this happen?" Tang Ruolin exclaimed, "Where's the doctor? Call the family doctor quickly, quickly." Huanghao roared anxiously, and his voice immediately attracted the attention of the whole audience. Everyone gathered around and saw that something was wrong. Xie Zhijiang was even more frightened when he saw this. Although he didn't know the identity of the old man, Huanghao attached so much importance to him that the other party must be from a big family. If something happened in his own home, I'm afraid it would involve the Xie family. Quick, call an ambulance. And let someone call the family doctor, quickly. Xie Zhijiang hurriedly ordered the servants. For a while, the banquet hall was in chaos. The family doctor came over quickly. She was a middle-aged woman in a sweater. She went forward to check Tang Shanhai's condition and her face changed immediately. Not good, acute myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction? Oh my God, this old man is in trouble. How could it be a myocardial infarction? This is going to kill someone. I heard that there is only a 5-minute golden rescue time for acute myocardial infarction. Once the opportunity is missed, it will cause permanent damage or death. Everyone was talking about it. Huanghao roared anxiously, "Hurry up and save him, what are you talking about? If something happens to him, we will all be in trouble." The whole audience was in an uproar when this was said. What does it mean? Is this old man very important? Even Huanghao is panicking. Under the suspicious gaze of everyone, the family doctor began to give first aid in a hurry, feeding him quick-acting heart-saving pills and giving him oxygen and compressions. Unfortunately, the effect was almost zero. Tang Shanhai's condition was aggressive. Various emergency measures were useless, and the patient almost suffocated because of foaming at the mouth, which frightened the family doctor. "No." The family doctor said anxiously, "The patient is in a very critical condition and must be sent to the hospital immediately." Alas, if he is sent to the hospital at this time, he will die. Wei Xing's thought sounded in Tang Ruolin's ears at the right time. Brother knows acupuncture and emergency treatment, why doesn't he want to help? How can you watch someone die without helping? Chapter 90. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Who's talking? Tang Ruolin was like a pot of boiling water. She stood up and looked around with wide eyes. Who is talking here? Is this woman stupid? Who? Tang Ruolin frowned again, but she looked at everyone coldly, but she found that no one was talking at all, and everyone was confused and weird. Oh, why are you dithering? Save people. Why doesn't Wei Hong take action? He obviously has a way to save people with acupuncture, but he deliberately doesn't take action. Does he want this grandfather to suffer before saving people? That's right, only when the situation is critical enough, the other party will be grateful when the person is rescued. Big Brother is still as cruel as ever. Woo, it's a pity that I don't know any medical skills, otherwise I could save this grandfather. What a pity, Wei Xing's voice continues to output. He also gradually walked to the front of the crowd. He deliberately pretended to be anxious and guilty, which immediately attracted Tang Wuolan's attention. He didn't speak, but the voice seemed to keep appearing in his ears. After confirming again and again that it was not an illusion, Tang Wuolan immediately confirmed that this was the other party's voice, although she didn't know why there were such strange things in the world, but she didn't care too much, and took a few steps forward and grabbed Wei Xing's hand, scolding and asking, "Tell me, who can save my grandfather, tell me." I don't know." Wei Xing pretended to be panicked. "I don't know medical skills either, my eldest brother knows." "Who is your eldest brother? Tell me." Tang Wuolan was too anxious to talk nonsense, raised her hand and slapped him, not only directly stunned Wei Xing, but also stunned everyone present. Dare to be arrogant at the Xie family banquet and slap a stranger directly. And Hua Yinghao was also polite to her. "Who is this woman?" Wei Jiaoyang's face darkened and he stepped forward to stop him, saying, "Miss, my son really doesn't know medical skills." The elder brother he mentioned is Wei Hong, the unfilial son who has been expelled from the family tree of our Wei family. The next moment, everyone made way. The eyes instantly focused on Wei Hong, who was holding a red wine glass and watching the show not far away. He and Wei Xing looked at each other, and a hint of amusement flashed across their faces. This guy really wants to kill him with all his might. In his previous life, Wei Hong took the initiative to save people and succeeded, so he used his voice to frame him. In this life, Wei Hong did not take the initiative to save people, but he still wanted to burn this fire over. "It's really a thief who is still trying to harm me." Tang Wuolan doesn't care about any twists and turns. Seeing that Tang Shanhai's condition was getting worse, she strode towards Wei Hong, grabbed his hand and pulled him forward. "Quick! Save him immediately. If my grandfather is in trouble, I want you to be buried with him." Wei Hong stood firmly in place without moving. Tang Wuolan's pulling was like a gnat trying to shake a tree for him, and even his arm did not shake. "I'm sorry, Miss Tang, I don't know medical skills." Wei Hong responded with a faint smile. "Brother, you obviously know how to do it." Wei Xing quickly persuaded him, "You used to give acupuncture and massage to my parents, and you have saved many people. Your medical skills are better than many old Chinese medicine practitioners. Don't call me brother all the time. We are not related by blood." Wei Hong glanced at him coldly and warned unhappily, "If I hear you yelling and disgusting again, I don't mind pulling out your tongue." "Okay." Wei Xing said pitifully, but big, "Oh no, Wei Xiao, even if you don't like me, you can't not save the patient, right? This old man is lying on the ground and needs urgent treatment. It's a matter of life and death." "I said I don't know medical skills, don't you understand what I say?" Wei Hong scolded coldly. Tang Wuolan had lost her patience. She narrowed her eyes and said coldly, "I don't care if you have medical skills or not. Save people now. If you can't save people, you will be buried with me. Do you understand?" "I don't understand." Wei Hong shook his arm and broke free from her palm. He sneered unhappily, "Who do you think you are? You keep saying bury me with me. Do you want to say Tianyang Wangpa? You have watched too many TV dramas, right?" Puff. There were bursts of laughter in the crowd. Tang Wuolan was immediately furious. She had been arrogant and domineering since she was a child, and no one dared to talk to her like this. Is this country bumpkin from a small place tired of living? She subconsciously raised her hand and wanted to slap him. Wei Hong raised his hand and grabbed her hand, narrowing his eyes and warning, "Don't listen to others' nonsense and come to provoke the enemy at will. Be careful that you can't leave Jiangzhou City." "Do you know who I am?" Tang Wuolan screamed in frustration, "You still want me to be unable to leave Jiangzhou City? Try to touch me, stupid country bumpkin, garbage." Just now Tang Shanhai's sudden attack scared her. At this moment, the negative emotions accumulated in the heart of the young lady completely exploded. She urgently needed an outlet to vent, and Wei Hong's tactlessness naturally ignited this explosive pack. Tang Wuolan cursed angrily, raised her other hand and hit him again, and at the same time, her feet were not idle, kicking him at the lower body. "Xiao Lin, stop it!" Hua Yinghao exclaimed and hurried over with his men, but he was still a step late. How could Wei Hong be a weak woman who could not even tie a chicken and throw a tantrum to knock him down? He pushed his palm casually to distance himself. The next moment, he kicked without hesitation. Bang! Tang Woolen screamed and was kicked 7 or 8 meters away. If he hadn't stopped, she would have been disabled today. Shaolin, are you okay? Hua Yinghao was scared to death. Even though he was used to big scenes, he was dumbfounded at this moment. He looked at Wei Hong in shock, and asked someone to help Tang Woolen up. Several bodyguards ran over in a hurry. Tang Woolen grabbed one of them by the collar and screamed angrily, "Catch him and break his legs." Xiaolin, don't go crazy. Hua Yinghao shouted, the most important thing now is to save your grandfather. Don't let other things delay people's lives. Tang Woolen was so angry that she gasped. Obviously, she had never been so angry since she was a child, but her grandfather's life still shocked this young lady. She said with a cold face and gnashing teeth, "Little bastard, you dare to touch me? Go and save people now. If my grandfather is fine, I will break one of your legs at most. If he is in trouble, I will let your whole family die." Wei Hong. Hua Yinghao also frowned and took 2 steps forward, reminding in a low voice, "Grandpa Tang and Xiaolin are people you can't afford to offend. After the fight just now, I can find a way to make amends and cover up for you. Now save people first. Isn't it just someone from the Tang family in the provincial capital? What's there to be ashamed of?" Wei Hong threw the red wine glass casually and said nonchalantly, "Do you really think that any cat or dog can be arrogant in front of me and dare to touch me in front of me? Kicking her is a light punishment." Hiss! Everyone took a breath of cold air. Hua Yinghao was also shocked, and he was constipated and wanted to say something but stopped.